It's June 1997. Deep inside the dim corridors of the United Center, the air hangs heavy with sweat and the distant roar of a crowd that has waited an entire season for this very moment. Camera shutters flicker like tracer fire in the darkness. Out on the floor, the hardwood glows under blinding lights. But in here, in the tunnel, a single rhythmic sound echoes, the steady bounce of a basketball. It's soft, but commanding, like the heartbeat of an approaching storm. This isn't just any night. This is a night that will be carved into the spine of basketball history. The Chicago Bulls are marching toward another championship, and the world is about to get another lesson in why the 1990s belonged to them long before the decade even began. The story of their reign, however, didn't start on this court. It began years earlier in the quieter corners of American basketball, in drafting rooms, in lonely practice facilities, and in late-night film sessions where a dynasty wasn't built with hype but with something far more demanding, an unforgiving internal standard. Back in the mid-1980s, the NBA was a two-party system. The league was dominated by the heavyweight power of the Lakers and the Celtics. Showtime dazzled in the West. Boston battered in the East. Everyone else just existed in their shadow. No one, absolutely no one, expected Chicago, a city with no championship banners and very little basketball history, to be the team that would rewrite the entire sport. But then came a young man from North Carolina, a player whose competitive fire bordered on myth. The newspapers wrote about his scoring, the commentators raved about his athleticism. But inside the Bulls organization, something else was taking shape, something not visible to the fans, something not recorded in the box score, but something that was evident in every single practice. A culture was being forged, one that demanded total and absolute sacrifice. As the era changed, the Bulls changed with it. The arrival of coach Phil Jackson introduced a philosophy, unlike anything the NBA had seen in decades, a system that rewarded selflessness, precision, and a deep psychological balance. Reporters questioned it. Analysts openly doubted it. Players on other teams mocked it. But inside those walls, the Bulls players were learning something that the rest of the league wouldn't understand until it was far, far too late. The Bulls were not playing for highlights. They were playing for inevitability. That steady bounce of the basketball in the tunnel became a symbol of something much larger than the game itself. It represented thousands of hours of unseen work. Endless drills. Film breakdowns that went into the early morning hours. An internal competition that pushed teammates to their absolute breaking point. They cultivated a standard so suffocating that even seasoned veterans would arrive in Chicago and find themselves completely overwhelmed by the sheer weight of the expectations. By 1991, when the Bulls finally swept the Detroit Pistons aside and claimed their first championship, most fans just assumed this was a talented team peaking at the right time. But the truth was so much deeper. Chicago wasn't just better, they were relentless. They attacked seasons the way elite militaries approach campaigns. Discipline first, precision second, and results last. Every year that followed just reinforced the same message. Every game-winning shot, every crucial defensive stand, every single playoff run that ended with a championship parade down the streets of Chicago. Behind the scenes, the Bulls practiced with a ferocity that broke newcomers and sharpened veterans into weapons. Their conditioning was on another level, surpassing all their rivals. A triangle offense was a puzzle that stressed opponents into making constant mistakes. Their obsession with winning bordered on a form of psychological warfare. Coaches from other teams would later recall how preparing for Chicago felt like preparing for a mission with no discernible weakness to exploit. Fans saw the brilliance on the court. Opponents felt the suffocating weight of it. But it was only years later that analysts would uncover the full truth. The Bulls were not a team built on just one superstar. They were a team built on a system engineered to erase excuses. This was a system where Scottie Pippen transformed into the league's most versatile and feared defender. A system where Dennis Rodman mastered the art of rebounding with the precision of a scientist. It was a system where role players became elite specialists, executing their tasks with the rigor of highly trained units. And it was a system where leadership flowed like a current, steady, unwavering, and completely uncompromising. Throughout the entire decade, teams tried everything imaginable to stop them. They threw double teams, they tried extreme physicality, they experimented with zone variations, and they built super teams just to counter the Bulls. None of it mattered. Because the secret wasn't just the talent, it was the alignment. Every player, every minute, every single possession serving the exact same purpose. This was a dynasty not fueled by ego, but by a culture that flatly refused to accept anything less than total victory. By the time the Bulls claimed their sixth and final championship in 1998, the documentary footage showed what you'd expect. Crowds erupting, camera flashes illuminating the night, and confetti soaking the court. But behind all that celebration lay the deeper revelation. The dominance of the Chicago Bulls had not been a miracle. It had been a design. The bouncing basketball, the symbol of the entire era, echoed one last time as the team walked off the court. Heavy, deliberate, final. In the years that followed, franchises across all sports studied their blueprint. Coaches dissected the game tape. Analysts wrote books on their methods. New superstars emerged with dreams of recreating what Chicago had done. But the truth remained simple and almost cruel in its simplicity. Talent wins games, but culture wins decades. And the Bulls had built a culture so unyielding, so demanding, so exact in its purpose, that it continues to shape how we measure greatness in the NBA to this very day. As the camera fades, the ball stops bouncing. Silence finally settles. And the legacy of the Bulls stands untouched, a powerful reminder that dominance is never an accident. It is engineered, it is forged, and it is paid for in full. That is the truth that fans never saw until history finally revealed it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more deep dives into the stories behind the legends, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.